All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
I'm the brother Bayan.
Brother K.I.S.S.
Here from the GMS New Orleans camp, here to bring you a quick lesson. Prior to getting started, we're going to give infinite honors and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, you Akim, you Akwat, which is your brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. And for this lesson here, it's going to be titled on the basis of keeping it simple. All right. How does it go? Would that be called an acronym when it breaks down to the letters K.I.S.S? Is that acronym?
Yeah.
I believe so. So yeah, they have the acronym called K.I.S.S. Keep it simple, stupid. And that's pretty much a mindset that brothers could work on here in the truth. To make it easier for you. All right, because the Lord didn't want to make this thing, extra complicated for his men, because otherwise, nobody will be sealed, so he has it, at least, easy enough for us to when it comes to the gaining this understanding, pretty much because we have here in 2026, we have elders and apostles that has been doing this work long before us. All right, so everything is pretty much figured out. All right, the books is open, the understanding is already out there. All right, we're just, like the brother say, entering into other men's labors, into their works, to make it easier for us when it comes to gaining that understanding, but ultimately, not to be too long-winded, we have to desire, the basics when it comes to these things, which would be called the milk, in the scriptures, and that's the basics of the scriptures. It's always, everything always goes back to the basics, and that's the part of the process of keeping it simple. But we could kick it off with that St. Peter Baba Shah.
I got that word simplicity for you.
Oh, kind of, you can bring it up.
It's the word simplicity in the online etymology. It says the noun singleness of nature, unity, indivisibility, immutability, or the state of being simple, frankness, openness, candor, direct.
I got a precept to back that up. This is St. Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. All right, but pretty much the point of that is, keeping the eye single. All right, if you're keeping the eye single, that means that you're having it on single one thing. Read the definition again.
I got off it.
Oh, it's like
I went to simple. I got it. It says singleness of nature. Unity was the main one. It was the state of being simple.
The state of being simple. But it also mentioned, the singleness of nature too. But again, I brought that out because it mentioned of your eye being single. Which pretty much mean you being focused on, Yahweh Shemel Shai, which is simple.
And that's a omen, because the truth is simple.
Right.
The things that we do is simple. The laws, statutes, commandments is simple. All right. Righteousness is actually simple. But what makes it complicated, all right, is righteousness being in a world full of wickedness. When everything around you is wickedness, being righteous makes it, even though doing it is simple, to the world it's complicated. That's why this brother going into the lesson on just keeping it simple, right? What you can relate that to, just keep it righteous, man. And that's whatever we doing, just keep it simple.
Got one more quick one for you, backing up what you just said. This is 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. All right, it's not grievous. This is not something that Jake, need to die, behind, trying to keep the laws, bro. Like it's some simple things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Maintaining, your beard as a man. Making sure your hair don't get too long as a man. Making sure you don't shave your hair as a woman. Making sure you don't commit adultery.
Yeah.
Simple things. Hold the Shabbat. Hold the holy days.
Yeah.
Praise me. Serve your brother. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like the brother said, in a land full of wickedness, that simpleness don't seem too easy, because it's constantly just being overwhelmed with niggotry and, again, wickedness, from this damn devil,
Yeah. I got the word simple.
Yep.
You got some heat in there, brother.
Let's get it.
It said, the adjective simple, it says free from duplicity. All right, free from being what? Complex, duplicate. It's just simple, right? It says upright, guileless, blameless, innocently harmless.
Mm.
And we know that the elect is going to be found what? No gall in their mouths, man. You know, they're going to be blameless.
Yep.
You see, harmless.
Yep.
You know, without blemish, as Yahushua is, right? Now, when you jump down to a good bit, it says the sense of being free from pride, humble, meek, is consisting of only one substance or ingredient, all right, presenting no difficulty or obstacles.
Hey, that's a good point right there. That simplicity goes back into the meek. And who shall inherit the kingdom? The meek.
The meek, yeah.
So that's a clear sign right there that that's a mindset, and that's a way that you should be holding yourself, you know, in a meek, in a simple mindset, you know, having little business. As a prophet, having little business. We're not busybodies around this thing, man. And the more that you become a busybody, the more that you make things more complicated for yourself. All right, you know how Jay talk about, man, I got a lot of food on my plate, a lot of food on my table. Yeah, but a lot of times, a lot of that shit just be unnecessary. You don't need all that food.
Can't even eat all that shit.
You can't even eat all of it, you know. And if you try to eat all of it, what you gonna do? You gonna throw it up. You gonna have a stomach ache. You're not gonna feel good, you know. So eat what you need to do what you need to do, and keep it simple. Stupid.
Yeah.
So that was more than a word.
Nah, that was it.
Kind.
You want that, Peter?
Yeah, Baba Shah.
This is 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 2. It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby.
So that you may grow thereby. So we grow by this milk, man. All right. And as newborn babes, because again, you know, coming into the truth, you know, that's pretty much how brothers are aged, or you know, whatever is the correct word that may explain, you know, different brothers' times being in the truth. So you know, you coming into the truth for the first time, that might be your first week, your first month. All right, that's how old you are considered in the truth. You're a month-old babe. All right, and you need to be desiring the milk, because that's what babes eat. They eat milk. They're not old enough. They don't have teeth, you know, to be able to chew meat. You know, which when you deal with meat in a doctrine, that's going into deeper topics, bigger topics. All right. But again, that milk is profitable for the new babes and, you know, a full grown man in the truth. You know, that milk will always be profitable no matter what. And that's the basics. And that's, again, the point of the lesson, that you could never escape the basics, and you should never want to get away from the basics. The basics is the foundations of how, you know, you move in this truth, man.
Yeah, that's the milk, which is, like you said, it's the foundation. You know, but if a baby don't get the proper nourishment of milk, they have to add different nutrients of things to the food, the formula, you know, which is really supposed to just get it from your mother. Right. And that you know, provides all the nutrients and the things that you need as a babe, that you can grow. You have to start adding nutrients, you know, to a babe's milk. You know, and I'm speaking metaphorically.
Yeah.
All right. You have to start adding nutrients to the milk, then you're not getting the right milk, man.
Right.
You know, and that's important too. Getting the right milk, you know. But that, you got it, bro.
You got any precept?
I was looking for this one. This one.
If not, I got this one real quick. I'm gonna bring out Psalms 119 and 15. You know, it says, "I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect into thy ways." All right, which we should be doing, you know, on a daily. You know, meditating on the precepts, on the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, again, we've been going into these previous camps, you know, previous lessons that brothers been going out throughout the week, you know, but pretty much, again, keeping our eyes single and meditating on everything dealing with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. That's the only thing that's going to keep us at peace in this hellhole. All right, and that's why the Lord gave us those instructions, because he can't afford to have his men crashing out in these times. All right, if you crashing out in these times, therefore it's plain as day that you're not a man of the Lord, because the man of the Lord is going to have this understanding, and again, that understanding is going to have him at peace. All right, but again, it says, "I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect into thy ways." You know, and if you go into that word respect, you know, read goes into going back, and spec going into observe. All right, so we're going to constantly observe the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and what did we just mention? You know, the law, statutes, and commandments of the Lord is not grievous. So therefore, if it's not grievous, it's simple enough for us to observe it to the best of our ability. You know, but that's what I had for the Psalms. You found what you needed?
I'm looking. I can't find it.
You good?
I still got I got a couple precepts too
Con. I have another one that could go with it. I'm just trying to see before I get these off. If you just want to pop in with one.
No, I was looking for that one where it speaks about the simplicity, that's in Yahushua, And even when you walk, even when you go through the walk of Yahushua, he kept a lot of things simple. A lot of things that people were trying to make complex and different, he just kept it simple, and he just actually spoke in parables. And the parables became what? Simple unto the holy, the godly, all right? Those who is destined to understand these things, man. To the others, it was super complex, right? So you have to keep in mind the simplicity that's in Yahushua,
Let me see. Was it Corinthians, maybe?
Yeah, it's in 2 Corinthians.
I think this might be it. Is it the, no.
I was looking for it, but you good. I don't gotta get it.
That's it? And I read verse 3.
So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Mashiach. I don't think so.
Now you can get Habakkuk 2 and 2 for me, Brother Sure. I got one more after this. We can shut it down.
God, that's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. What is that for now? This Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it says, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it."
Make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth. All right. So for the hopeful elect, when they see these things, when they read these scriptures, when that understanding comes from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they'll be able to get this thing and instantly get to work, pretty much, because that's the duty of the Israelite man, fear the Lord. The whole conclusion is to fear the Lord and keep his law, statutes, and commandments. And part of our law, statutes, and commandments, as of now, is to be on the highways and byways in this captivity, preaching the downfall of this kingdom, and preaching the coming of our Lord and Savior, our big brother, Yahushua, But again, it says, "And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision, make it plain." You got to hearken on that word right there, plain. All right? Make it plain upon tables that he may run that reader. All right? Gone.
I got something for you, though.
Gone.
Because a form of keeping it simple, all right, is basically unchanging. All right, the doctrine don't change. All right, the law, statutes, commandments don't change. The Lord don't change, man. All right, so this is Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, "For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." So if the Lord would have changed, we would have been consumed a long time ago. You see, but it's because of the simplicity. All right, it's because the Lord remembering his word, remembering us, all right, him not changing, that we still have a chance at salvation, man. So if the Heavenly Father keeps it simple, why can't you?
Right.
Yeah. You got it.
And again, we have this book is full of examples and ensamples, of what we need to do. The Lord covers all corners, covers all grounds of what we need to do to obtain our crown, man. All right, and keeping it simple is definitely one of those things. All right, keeping it simple, and that falls under discipline, and it's crazy, and it's amazing how the Lord does this, man. Everything, it's like it's a crazy rabbit hole when you deal with this truth, man, because so many topics connect to each other, So everything with being a disciple goes back to discipline, and discipline goes back to being simple. Simple goes back to being meek. Meek goes back to being this, and it all just ultimately explains the elect. It coincides with each other, But that only comes from the understanding of the Lord and dealing with the sincere milk. All right, because they got men that get to this level right here and try to seek more things that's way beyond their fucking level and bug themselves out. And that's another reason why you got to keep it simple. Because if you try to do too much, just like I said, you're gonna bug yourself out, and we have seen that. That's not just words coming out of my mouth vain. I am a witness. This brother here is a witness of men searching things that's out of their pay grade. You know,
out of your jurisdiction, man.
Out of your jurisdiction, man. Keep the shit simple, man. Serve the Lord, serve your brother, you know, and keep this shit simple, man. We almost out of here. We can't afford to make no dumb, stupid mistakes, you know. And this and these last, you know, few minutes or last hour, you know, that we in, you know.
I got some.
You got it.
It's to back up that 1 Peter 2. I was looking for this earlier, but it came back around. It's Hebrews 5:12. It says, "For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
Yeah. But
strong meat belong unto them that are full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil." That's it.
Yeah, and you know, pretty much the point that, you know, we made earlier, you know, of being skillful when it comes to dealing with the meats.
Yeah.
You know,
the milk.
With the milk as well. You know, because even though as simple as the milk is, you know, you still have to keep it in your arsenal. You know, and again, I think about this when it goes to like the sports analogies. When it comes to a wide receiver running a route tree, yeah, once you know, you get a little bit more skilled, you can throw a little bit more spice on your route. You know, twist your hips a little bit, but the route tree still 1 through 9.
Yeah,
you know,
a certain area you need to get to covering that route.
Exactly. You know, so it's always gonna be that point A to point B. You got to get there. You know what I'm saying? But as you get more skilled, yeah, you could throw a little twist on it, just as brothers do. Brothers not out here changing the precepts. You know, brothers may put a different understanding. You know, their understanding that coincides. You know, that fits with the scriptures. But brothers not going in that thing and just destroying it because it's a recompense behind that. We could get that too.
If I can say real quick, because milk is like the starting point, right? You use the milk. You suck the milk. A baby don't use milk their whole life until they're 7 years old. It's a point in time where you get, like I said, weaned off the breast. You know, and that's when you get into the strong meats. You get the understanding of knowing how to deal with that, right? But it all starts with having that at a certain age. The Lord will give it to you in due time. You know, if you meant to get it, but you can't be out here like the brother was saying earlier, trying to just do too much. You know, Jake be doing too much, man. You know, you get into all these different books. You know, you get into the books, you start getting bugged out. You know, that's why I said make not end of many books. You know, it's a balance to this thing, and the best balance that you can have in the truth is just keeping it simple. All right.
Hey, and if I could say, brother, and the shit that usually comes that stem from doing what niggas do when they do too much is because they be trying to be seen of men.
Exactly.
That's usually 100% the reason why niggas try to do too much. They either be trying to be seen of men or they be trying to be stunting in front of these hoes. You know, to make themselves look woke. Because everybody wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to be that humble servant that's going to serve their brother and serve the Lord. Everybody wants to be Yahweh Shai. So that's why niggas move the way that they do and try to make things more complicated than what it needs to be, you know. But this is the recompense that I want to get, you know. And again, this is written in the last page, Revelations 22, all right, in 18. It says, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man should take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God should take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city and from the things which are written in this book." All right. And those two precepts right there should strike fear in you of why and give you a reason to keep it simple. Because the more complicated that you try to be in this thing, the more the Lord is going to add on, like I said, if you add it to it, the Lord is going to add plagues unto you. You know, if you take away, the Lord is going to take you out of this book of life. You know, so that's the reward that comes behind, you know, not being simple. You know? But I had one more.
I got one more too.
Comment. Let me see. What was that? You want to run it? I got it. This is Second Maccabees. Was that 2?
Yeah, you said 2 and 2, I think.
2 and 24.
24.
Come. Second Maccabees 2 and 24 to 26.
Second Maccabees chapter 2 and 24. It says, for considering an infinite number of the difficulty which they find that desire to look into the narrations of the story, for the variety of the matter, we have been careful that they will read, that they that will read may have delight, and that they that are desirous to commit to memory might have ease, and that all into whose hands it comes might have profit. Therefore, to us that have taken upon us this painful labor of abridging, it was not easy, but a matter of sweating and watching.
All right, and this precept here could back up the Habakkuk 2 and 2, you know, of making it plain upon tables, you know, that he may read it that run. All right, you know, pretty much is giving that reverence and that respect to the elders and apostles, again, who have been doing this work long before us, you know. And like I said in verse 26, therefore to us that have taken upon this painful labor of abridging, and it was not easy. All right, it stated that it wasn't easy, but it was done. All right, that the elders and apostles has abridged that gap, you know, to help us, you know, first and foremost through the spirit of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, abridge that gap for us to get back close to the Lord, you know. But
I got this real quick. It's, in the GNT, same verses.
Yep.
It says the number of details of the bulk of material can be overwhelming for anyone who wants to read an account of these events. But I have attempted to simplify it for all readers.
Come on, smoke.
Those who read for sheer pleasure will find enjoyment, and those who want to memorize the facts will not find it difficult. Writing such a summary is a difficult task, demanding hard work and sleepless nights. But he said, I've attempted to simplify it for all the readers. He didn't say, I tried to make the things difficult.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That's like you said, the whole thing with Habakkuk. He's made it simple, plain, so that those who are anointed, all right, are given that special endowment, that unction, in these latter times can do what? They can take it and run with it, man. You know?
And look, notice, again, it's two sides of the spectrum. The Lord made it a stumbling block for the non-believers. For the people who he don't want to get this understanding, it's a stumbling block. It's confusing and it's hard. You know? That's what the mindset comes when it's hard for niggas to cut their dreads off. It's hard for niggas to stop getting tattoos. It's hard for niggas to stop committing adultery. You know, that's the niggas that the Lord make this shit a stumbling block. But for the elect, for the men who it explains here that are desirous to commit to memory, we are desirous to commit to memory. I could speak for every brother when we all would love to know exactly everything that happened from the beginning on up to now. You know, we know everything that we need to know. You know, we're not attempting to search for, you know, extra information, you know, just what the Lord has given us.
That's why I say you know in part and prophesying
part. Yeah, beautiful, you know. But again, you know, we know why we transgress. We know what happened. We know the split of the kingdoms. We know the prophecy of what happened before and what's happening in the future. We know enough, you know. But again, we still are desirous to gain as much information that we can, because again, the more information that we know, the more at peace we're going to be, you know. Not to sound like a broken record, but the Lord gave us this information for a reason, and that reason was to keep us at peace, you know, in the times of trouble, you know. But you say you got something?
Yeah, that was it.
But yeah, we could end it off on that. So pray that this lesson was edifying. Prior to getting out of here, we're going to give infinite honors and prayers unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Kawadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You Akim, you Akwat, which are your brothers and sisters in the Hebrew that believe. Shalom.
Shalom.